let's begin. First of all, could you please introduce yourself and the motivation to create this game?
Yeah, people know me on Twitter as Space Okra. I've also been in the Chia community since about 3 weeks after mainnet launch. People might know me as Hickle Pickle. I've been in a lot of different Discords and stuff. And then my motivation for the game is just I wanted to learn more about the blockchain. Just seemed like a good learning experience. And that's kind of the reason why it was my only real motivation. Then once they launched the NFT protocol and cats and all that, it seemed like there was a lot of opportunity to work with it in interesting ways, like that you can't do on like Ethereum and other chains like that.
Mhm. So you have been working for the game before, right? You have that experience?
Yeah, I'd like modded some games before, and then I code and stuff like that, and I just kind of wanted to get more into game development, like experiment with it, and do stuff like that. Do a big project. And
Hmm.
then the NFT protocol seemed really good for a card game. And I know a lot of people in the community when it launched were like, oh, this would be great for a trading card game and have NFTs with utility and having the offer market and all of that. You don't need a third party marketplace. Everybody can just trade like kind of like a real card game in real life. You can just trade with your friends whenever you want. You don't have to worry about paying market fees or anything like that.
So yeah, that's good. So you have that kind of background somehow.
Yeah, mainly in just Java and like back end programming and stuff. But I thought this would be a good project to evolve that too and like make a full back end with all the different services and then learning to track everything on the blockchain. All that was really interesting and a good learning experience.
So when did you start developing this game, and why you choose Chia?
I started developing it probably around July of last year and got really into it around August, pretty much right after the NFT launch is when I started. And then I was planning on releasing sooner. Then Stable Diffusion came out, and I was already planning to use AI for the card generation. And then I really
Yes.
started getting into Stable Diffusion and training a custom model, and that's how all the cards are generated and stuff like that. And then the reason for choosing Chia, I wasn't really looking for a blockchain to do a video game on. It just kind of all came together. But yeah, I wasn't really looking for a chain to develop a game. It all just kind of came together when I started the Space Ochre at Twitter. I knew I wanted to do something on the chain, and then launched the Okra token, and I made the mistake of hashtagging airdrop in it. And next thing I know, like over the course of like 4 hours, I had thousands of users in my Discord from all over the world trying to get the airdrop. It was shared in the community, and it kind of got really crazy there at a while, but it motivated me to put the work into the game that after a community developed, 'cause there was a lot of people from the Chia community and people from outside the community that were coming in learning from Chia or learning about Chia from seeing that airdrop and introducing them to the chain. And it just kind of all came together. I was planning on doing like a smaller game or something like that. And then once all that happened, I'm like, I think I'm going to try to do a bigger project. And I thought card games would be a good fit for Chia too. And it kind of just went from there. And I've been spending the last year developing it and tried to do a little bit different. I don't have the most experience with card games. I played Magic some like years ago, and that's why I went with the more turn-based combat. So I thought it'd be good to make a competitive game where it's not everything's not strictly deterministic or stuff like Axie where you're breeding your different animals, or I don't know what they call them on there, but like I wanted to make something where it's like a turn-based RPG and you could develop your combat and people could play competitively.
Um, your game is kind of TCG, and was it developed after the official Chia TCG appeared?
No, most of the gameplay and the ideas for it was developed towards the end of last year, earlier. But yeah, I looked some into their framework, and then I'd already built like most of my backend and everything like that with the way we're tracking with DIDs and stuff like that. So it wasn't too much of a fit, but it all came together before that for the most part, and I've just been finishing up for the past like 6 months or so.
Do you use does the game use the open source game framework provided by Chia TCG?
No, all the code's original, and none of that's being used in it. I do want to look into Wallet Connect for registration. I know the whole copying an offer file or uploading it's not the best. There's some complications there just because you pretty much need to authorize with that account NFT, which that's all used. So there's no linking of your wallet, like any rewards get paid directly to the address that holds that NFT. So I need to make it so you can pretty much select that specific NFT, which makes it, I don't think the Wallet Connect UI lets you pick a NFT to offer when you use that hook or whatever. And so the make offer, you're already got to request like a specific NFT. So I have to make it where they can provide that, and it's a little bit complicated for that. But I do plan to use some Wallet Connect in there just because it makes the process a lot simple.
So actually, it's uh, I played I tried the game a little bit. For me, it's kind of it's just a DID bonding with the on the blockchain,
Yeah.
but nothing else. Is that right? I
Yes.
mean, if compared to what we call a blockchain game.
Uh, yeah, I wanted to focus more on making it like a traditional game with like not getting too blockchain based with it. Like, I mean, it's pretty blockchain based, but I didn't copy like other games and didn't want it to be all grindy and where everything's trying to usher you in to like buy tokens to upgrade and like do all that. And then there's once this the base of the game gets done, I'd like to try to make more campaigns and cooperative play and stuff like that. Like the combat system being tested right now is kind of like a base to build other stuff around.
Mm-hmm. So you could you please briefly describe how your game start for those people who have not read the docs?
Yeah,
The
I
docs
need.
is a very long.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on some more simpler write-ups or like a wiki style, so you can just if there's a little thing you need to know about, you don't have to dig through all that. Then plan
Mhm,
on getting some videos too to kind of show it all. But
mhm.
pretty much you get three characters, call them pawns, and then they each have two weapons. You got a talisman card that lets you alter your stats a little bit to kind of customize your character, and then your del action cards, which are kind of like attacks, and then some ability cards that are like magic. You get two of each one of those every 6 rounds they get redealt if you've played them. And then your weapon cards you can play anytime. And uh, yeah, like I said, the combat kind of models a turn-based RPG. So you kind of think of those like weapons or your specials and things like that.
So what is the difference between your game and the traditional TCG games such as Stone, Yogi-Ha, and Magic, the Gathering?
Um, Mainly just because it focuses more on attacks and kind of it's pretty much just like a turn-based game, and then the cards are just a representation of your items and things like that. And then the ability cards are kind of more magic-like, and I want to get more into that where you kind of manipulate the gameplay rules and just different things with them. There's some of those now, like you can swap and take other players' cards and different things like that. And then I heard you translate some about the account NFT. I didn't really cover that too much, but to start, you need an account NFT, which you can get for free if you come to the Discord, which I'll link on. You can find on my Twitter, and I'll link it again after this. And then you just transfer that to your DID. And then when you register, you make an offer file, which pretty much shows that you own that account, and then everything, all the assets under that DID are tracked. So that's how the game picks up what cards you have, and that keeps you from having to log in with your wallet every time you play. So you could set everything up on one computer and then play through the browser anywhere you want to without having to constantly link your wallet and do all that.
So I've noticed that there is a lot of uh, uh, how to say artworks like
Yes.
rendering, painting. It, you did that by yourself?
Yeah, all the card art was done with Stable Diffusion. I spent a lot of hours, probably about like 3 months worth, training the model and just refining it to make the style of art that it has. I wanted to focus a lot on the card art since it was NFTs. I felt like the cards should be like really unique and that was modeled a lot after like traditional card games. I always liked the art of like Magic and stuff like that. So I thought using NFTs, there should be a large focus on the art of the cards. And then
Mhm.
all the in-game stuff, I made some of that. The characters and stuff you see, those actually came from an asset pack that lets you customize. It's a character generator, and then I generate them and edit them some to look like the cards. But all the card art and stuff was a stable diffusion model, and I generated those. Had to use, I don't know if anybody knows about ControlNet, but you can kind of mock up like a picture, like you could draw your outline and color it in some, and then slowly develop and work with AI like that, kind of nudge it in the direction you want and have it develop off your artwork and generate from that.
Yeah, yeah, using the rendering engine, or it's another independent software.
The game like interface and all that, that's done through Godot, which I don't know if some people have heard of that. It's kind of like Unity, but it's open source. And that's like working with it. It's more code based. Like it just kind of is a fit. It has a Python like language you use, which is kind of like just a wrapper around their C plus library, and it's just easy to work with. And I went with it.
嗯，它采用了这个一个开源的一个呃游戏的引擎啊，来做这些事情啊。So what do you think about the advantages of the on-chain TCG game?
I think mainly it's just control your assets. Like anybody can trade between each other. Like you want to trade a card with your buddy or something like that, you can contact them, trade an offer file, everything's secured by the chain, which is something no other chains really offer at the moment, as far as I know, at least around NFTs. And I think that's a big benefit that you can do that. You maintain full control. You don't have to go to a marketplace and always just go through all that mess to trade anything. You own your assets. You can trade them how you want in a secure manner.
Mm-hmm. But I know that Chia TCG, the idea, the concept is can trade the assets in the game between games. For example, from the uh, game B, game A, I, I
Yeah.
I I have a weapon and I can use or trade in the game B, right? Have you
Yes,
ever
like
think about that?
yeah, like in between games and stuff like that, like owning your assets so they can be used in different games. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I'm open to, and I think that's another benefit of it too. Like you own those assets. Like if the game goes away, they're still there. And part of the statements I put out, if you read like the project info and stuff, like everything's going to be open source except like the full back end. And then if anything ever happens, I can't continue the project, that will all be released, and community can do whatever they want with it. And now you own the cards, you can implement them in something else.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I asked if somebody implements them, I'd like them to contact me or not. Don't just like clone the game, of course, but if you want to be like somebody has this NFT, it gets you a different asset and like a different game or something like that. I think that's a great use of them. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something I'd like to work with other projects too and like try to make some crossover stuff.
Yeah, I think that's why Chia developed the TCG. That's the purpose for Chia TCG infrastructure.
Yeah.
They want to build a free market trading, the digital asset trading between games.
Yeah,
That's
it's a nice thing. It's detached from them, so it's not like other games where it's all centralized around the game. Like you might have the NFT, but like with Chia, they're really far removed. They're in your account and easy to use anywhere.
Mhm. Is it necessary to purchase NFT to start your game? And are there some uh, novice battle decks available?
Yes, right now it's in beta. You can queue trial games, which you don't have to own any assets. It'll just generate you a random set of cards, and then those earn half rewards right now. That will probably be phased out some here in a month or two once it leaves beta. There's still going to be like trial games. I want people to be able to test it out and see if they enjoy it before they commit to it. And then there's starter packs. There are OFAS tokens. So you can get those for I think I adjust the price to try to keep it around $15. And then you can also get those for Okra. We airdropped like 33 million tokens, and I don't know where they went. Very many of them have popped up. Some people have redeemed them for starter packs, but that's also worth looking into. There's a lot of people selling Okra pretty cheap on the market, and you can get a starter pack probably cheaper that way.
Hmm. Uh, can you tell us how many players right now already in your game?
I think
And
there's about
remember?
30 players that have registered, and there's about 4 or 5 people that play uh, around every day. And we're hoping to get more, or I'm hoping to get more. I keep saying we, but it's mainly me running it. And then yeah, the Chia community's kind of gotten a lot smaller recently. Like when I launched around cats, there was a whole big thing around a lot of people getting in, and it's kind of got to weather the storm now, but I'm sticking around. So
Okay. Yeah, we have community members. We are playing in the game already, and uh, they told me it's kind of hard to play, especially very hard to win the AI, the computer.
yeah,
Is
I
that
need to
true?
yeah, I need to balance that some. I noticed some people are having difficulties with it, and then there's I had to do some changes because some people kind of figured it out and were winning almost like 8 out of 10 games or something. So I made the bot a little harder for them, but I need to kind of make it adjust what it does. Right now, it whatever, if you generate a random card set or if you have your card set, the bot pretty much has the same level of cards, but I have noticed that, yeah, some people have a struggle with it. Some I'm not exactly sure how to approach that, but I'm gonna try to find some ways to change the behavior of it to make it less hard for people that have issues, and then the people that are figuring it out make it difficult, or at least change what it does so they can't predict it as much.
So, are there any plans for translation for community in other languages?
Uh,
There are
yes,
lots of texts, you know that.
yeah, that's I've noticed a lot of people from other languages been saying that. I'm working on that right now. It'll probably be next week. I should have a Chinese translation out. I have to rework some stuff. You got to change. I put all that text in, but now I got to go back and make them key pairs, and that way that key can relate to English or it can relate to Chinese, and then any other language people want to, I can plug it in then after that's done. But hopefully that should be done in the next week because I understand that makes it difficult. There's a lot of stuff to read, and then you don't know what's going on. And but yeah, it's definitely in the works.
So, do you have any plans to cooperate with other NFTs? For
Uh,
example, our GOC NFT to use somehow in your game.
yeah, it's definitely plans for the future, and anybody with an NFT project that wants to reach out. I'm not super focused on it right now. Just I'm trying to get everything ironed out, like during the beta. But I want it to be it's meant to be a community project. Like if anybody wants to contribute, or if they have any ideas or any other projects want to work together, I would love to do crossover work like that. I think it'd benefit the ecosystem as a whole. Because like you said, you can take Chia's lets you take, what am I trying to say? You can pretty much share assets between games easily, so it makes sense to do crossover stuff like that.
Yeah, that's very important to if you can cooperate with other NFT creators. I think that will be just benefit for both sides, and
Yeah,
you get more users, and they have more assets that they like. So that's very interesting.
yeah,
Mm.
I think it will help strengthen the whole NFT community too, stuff like that.
Yeah, the before we have one game in Chia called I forgot the name in Discord. It's a kind of a text typing.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'd seen that one. It was kind of like a
Chia inventor.
text dungeon or something like that. It would,
Yeah.
yeah,
He introduced a lot of NFT projects. That's very interesting, very nice. Yeah. Will the account will the account registration be changed to Wallet Connect? You think?
yeah, uh, yeah. I'm not sure how long that will take. Like I said, since it needs to be a specific NFT. I haven't looked into it too much. It seems like the way it works is if you like if you try to make a request to a user's wallet, it needs to be for the specific NFT. So I need to find a way. I don't really want to have to get all the NFTs from a wallet, iterate through them, and find which ones that count NFTs. So if it is implemented, they'll probably have to know the NFT ID, and then they can put that in, and it will initiate the wallet connect transfer to make an offer that can be verified. And then I changed it some. Right now, you can upload an offer file. Makes it a little bit simpler than copy and pasting, but that is something I want to pursue because it makes it a lot easier for users.
Okay, I think that's basically all I have my question. So it's very interesting game, and I hope you can. Yeah, one more thing is how can you survival? Because you have spent a year already, and if do you want to make a survival make profit from this game to continue to make this game substantial developing?
Yeah, that's one of the concerns right now, just because the community has gotten so much smaller in the past year. But I plan on sticking around. It doesn't take too much to run it, like right now, and then a lot of the time spent developing it, I've been making it where it's pretty maintainable. It can just run in the background, and then I just got to update it when I do. And then there's more updates planned. Like I said, the combat system, once all that goes out of beta and it gets cleaned up, I'd like to make a more overworld thing where you could kind of play with some friends cooperatively and kind of like Pokemon. Like it'd be the battle system would be the card game, but you could still like explore a world, maybe go through a dungeon and do little campaigns and stuff with other players and earn rewards that way. That way it isn't all competitive. I know not everybody wants to play a competitive game. I think that would be fun too, just being able to play with your friends and more casually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as we talked about the Discord game before the Chia inventory. Uh, they stopped. We
Oh
loved this game, but
yeah,
uh, he stopped, and we feel very sad about that. So that's why we want to know if you can continue building.
yeah. I plan on continuing.
Mhm. Okay.
It's a part-time endeavor. It's not like paying the bills or anything like that, but I'll definitely still develop and I enjoy doing it. So I'm not going away anytime soon. There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
more planned for it. And then now that I understand the Godot, the game engine I used, I was learning it as I was making all this. And now that that's done, the back end's done. I can, once I get out of this beta and there's some bugs and stuff in the combat system that needs worked on, once that's all cleaned up, I can start developing other stuff around it. And then if any
Mm-hmm.
users or players or anybody in the community has any ideas or suggestions, I welcome them to tweet at me or come in the Discord and tell me what you're looking for out of the game.
Okay, that's fantastic. And yeah, as our guest, I we will send you a GeoCities IP as a gift, and please leave your address in the DM, and so I can send you. And we will also pick up some lucky audience in our community and to airdrop some the game coin, right?
Yep, I got some tokens. I was going to send you the offer after this. It's 8 of them for one mojo, just so it could be an offer. But and then yeah, however you want to give this to your community, people try the game out that way. And yeah, appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, thank you very much, and we will keep in touch and keep try to play that game, and we hope Chia ecosystem can have more players uh, for this game and an NFT.
Yep, I think it'll
Thank you
grow
very
up. I
much.
think it'll grow over time. We just gotta wait it out.
Yeah, I really appreciate.
I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, take care.
You too.
Bye bye.